Hello and welcome to this teacher briefing for the Illuminate STEAM Challenge coming up at Scotch Oakburn College. My name is Adam Mostogle. I'm the founder and inspirer of Illuminate Education, and I'll be the lead facilitator for the 2-week program that we're going to be delivering at Scotch Oakburn College, with 2 of my co-facilitators coming in for each week, because each week is a slightly different stage of that innovation entrepreneurship process as students go deep in those STEAM fields. I'm going to run through a little bit about Illuminate Education, about how the week works, and then a little bit about how you can best support the students throughout the program. So Illuminate Education is an entrepreneurship education organisation that's focused and passionate about supporting the next generation of Australian entrepreneurs, small business champions, leaders and change makers, especially those in the STEAM and creative fields. We're entirely focused on equipping every Australian student with the skills to believe in tomorrow today, and through interactions with schools and communities, through our programs that we deliver, to build this capacity and skills. By this, we want to see students believe in their own skills and abilities to lead positive change in their own lives and those around them, to believe in the future, to believe in tomorrow, recognising the vast array of opportunities that each and every person has available to them, and to start learning the skills today, now, that will help them make those positive steps. And to help in this direction, we deliver this through teaching and equipping students with business, STEM and entrepreneurial skills. All of our programs are practical to ensure students can authentically experience these skills and abilities to grow in their own confidence, as well as providing opportunity to showcase the student achievement with parents, the school community and everyone else in the region. So what are we going to cover in the Illuminate STEAM Challenge? Well, it is a 2-week program. The first week is modelled closely to our Illuminate Next Gen challenges that over 5,500 students in every state and territory across Australia have gone through. In this, we model that startup process, coming up with a brand new idea, testing its viability, actually doing research around it to see what else is happening in the industry, and then being able to present back those findings on how you're going to make that happen. So the students on Friday will be presenting their solution to a local or national environmental problem that they will be solving through STEM and STEAM aspects. So they might be looking at a scientific solution, they might come up with some technology or IoT solution, engineering, building a brand new solution. There might be some new ways to calculate what's actually occurring, and we are encouraging students to express this in a really creative field so that they can get the whole community to be part of it. So that's the first week. And then the second week, we're actually getting the students to set a bit of their own agenda, and that's part of their presentation on Friday. What rooms are they going to book? What teachers are they going to get involved? They'll be going out and asking those questions and building that structure and presenting it on Friday so that we can endorse that program and say, yes, that's the right way to do it. But the students won't be going crazy with that. It's really important to stress. They'll actually be given a budget to work with, that if they book a room, it costs them money. If they book a teacher's time, it costs them money. And so they'll have to plan ahead and use their limited resources very, very carefully in that. And then the second week, as mentioned, is that time to prototype, to test, to evaluate that course, that sort of solution that they've proposed. Can they actually achieve it? And on Friday of the second week, it's an opportunity to showcase both their original idea, what they've actually developed, what those results have proved, and then how do they get that out to the wider community. There's a number of things the students will step through in that, and we're encouraging to make it as authentic as possible. Students will have to complete a daily logbook as they go through and test their experiment. They'll be creating traditional scientific posters that would be displayed at events and trade fairs all over the world, and we'll be encouraging students to create that for their own idea to showcase how that would work for the scientific community. They'll be creating business plans and financial tables, marketing strategies on how to share this with the community, and creative presentations to share it with primary school students, as well as expressing how they've reflected and what they've learnt on that process as well. It's going to be a really exciting process for students to step up and communicate all of those skills authentically, but also explore them in the challenge. So what are we looking to build? Obviously, first and foremost, it is that authentic application of those STEAM skills. We really want students to use them and actually see how they can apply what they have learnt and potentially learn more in a field of interest to them, that they can actually make positive and real change in their world. They might choose a local issue right here in Launceston that really needs some dedicated attention. But obviously then underneath that, there are some key entrepreneurial enterprise skills that every single employer is looking for, and we really want to focus on those as well. Collaboration and teamwork, so teams work really closely together because that is how our modern workforce works. Knowledge construction and critical thinking, so students don't just simply take the information that is given to them, but they actually refine it and reflect on it and go, is this actually valid? Is this something we can use? And also making decisions for themselves. Digital and financial literacy. They have to test the viability of their idea, and also then being able to use technology effectively and productively through those literacy skills. Being able to communicate and present those ideas, to be able to be confident in sharing that with the judges, the fellow students, and the world, so they can be able to express that positively. And their creativity and problem-solving skills to solve the big problems that we do need to actually address in this world, and the students have the creativity to start doing that today. And then also to reflect and innovate on their approach and the way that they're working on a regular basis. So the program is a little bit unstructured. There'll be sessions throughout the week. We've got some fantastic people from industry coming in to present core skills around that scientific process, as well as having my team coming in and sharing about some key skills that will help them in the way that they work, both in the challenge, but then also in the working world. The second week is fairly flexible, and we're really excited about what students will do with that. And so it's going to be a really interesting process, but students will have an agenda set. So I encourage you to find out what their agenda is and then start to keep an eye on how those teams are going. We'll give teams a binder with all of their information in it. And the reason we do this is, one, so we don't have to hand out sheets all throughout the week, but also then students can keep all their information in one place. We really encourage them to be organised. A great team that's organised, knows what they're doing, will keep all their things together. We've got a hole punch for that so they can put it all in there. We'll be using an application called Slack so that students can communicate as they are travelling around. While we're based the first week in the single facility, it'll be a really useful tool that even they can communicate across rooms and answer questions really effectively. But then as they spread out, using that technology means they can collaborate in their own teams really effectively, but then also with the rest of the group and with us as a team of facilitators to be able to support them in any issues that come up. There is also a website, the Team Resource Guide, that will have all of their templates, all of their guides, a lot of information. The entire schedule will be based online so that they can review it. The idea of that is that then once that information is presented and it's there, we'll encourage students to keep going back. A student asks us when a deadline's due, we'll be telling them to check the Team Resource Guide because we know the information is there. We want them to find the information that they need and solve those answers for themselves, because that's really going to help give them the confidence to find that information in future. And then obviously throughout the week, our team of facilitators are going to be around to help out at all stages of the week. So I guess the important part is to share your vital support role throughout the week. Well, how can you best support the learning environment we're looking to create through this program? Well, first things first, mentor and question the students. Have a look at what they're doing, check in, keep touch with them. You might need to prod them in certain directions in the way that they might be getting a little bit off track and reminding them what they're actually focused on. But I encourage you to question, how are you going? Have you met your targets for the day? Have you got a schedule for where you're trying to go? Has your leader set out some key tasks you need to do? Have you got a time to meet? Question the students so that they can solve those solutions for themselves. They can construct that knowledge and fill in those gaps. I encourage you to connect colleagues into the teams as well. If you have someone that knows about the area that they're looking into or could add some value, connect them up as you would with any sort of business networking or any opportunity. Treat the students like real scientists, real business people, real leaders of our community going out and doing stuff, and you want them to learn from industry experts. Give them the phone number. Tell them, obviously, to say that, hey, we're doing this school program, but we really want to find out these answers as we go through. I encourage you to support students in their reflection processes as well. What didn't go well today? How can you improve that for future? Did everybody put in? What are new ways that we can look at that? Encourage that reflection process, again, so students construct that knowledge, but you actually having seen how that team's worked might be able to give them some things to think about and that they can then start pulling together, and then they've felt like they've solved it themselves, but learn that skill for longer. Promote good strategies. You might see teams doing something a bit strange, a bit weird. They're not quite sure, but you go, wait a minute, somewhere in my career, I learnt that the hard way. I encourage you to share that knowledge with the students. It might be setting checklists, it might be setting tasks, team meetings, however that works. I encourage you to share it, not to explicitly teach and run, but to share that knowledge so students can then take that on and authentically apply it themselves. I encourage you to push them. Keep them on track, keep making sure that they're doing things and keep them working. But don't lead, don't be the one setting the direction. because we want the students to step up and lead their own teams, lead their own success. Some teams may stumble in that process, but they will learn so much in that, especially with that reflection opportunity as they go through that. And the last thing I've got here is, and it's in the back of your teacher handbook, I encourage you to reflect on what you're seeing as well. There might be things that you're seeing that might be really useful for us to know, but hopefully there are things that actually in this learning environment and the structure of the way we're doing it might help you as well in your own practice. We're more than happy to talk about that, and we're happy to share, and you're obviously going to be part of it and see it. I encourage you to reflect as well as we step through. Otherwise, throughout the week, we're here as facilitators to support you as well. And so if you've got questions, ask us. We're here to help. The only other thing that I will say is that once we've got team leaders, I encourage you to find out who the team leaders are as you come in, and they might be able to nominate themselves or they'll say who they are. But I encourage you, there might be some things that occur in teams. Go to that team leader and maybe you might help them actually grow in their own leadership capacity. Take them out of the room for a couple of minutes and go, hey, I've just seen this, this and this. You might need to be aware of it. How can you maybe pull your team together and support that leader? So when they step in the room, it is their group. They have come up with that solution and they build their own confidence and their own capacity to lead as well. As you can see, so much about this is authentic. The student experience is really, really strong. And we want the students to really grow in their own skills and abilities so they can take control of their own learning for the future. Look, as we go through the program, I'm sure if you've got any questions, please ask us, but we're really looking forward to bringing this experience to students of Scotch Oakburn College.